What, in your opinion, caused yesterday's market crash?
Good morning, Matt. I mean, market is very much gripped in panic. I think we are desperately wanting to see two things. One is some signs of virus containment, and I suspect that's still long to come. And secondly, we want to see some coordinated response from policymakers. And unfortunately, we are getting quite a lot of response, but they're disjointed, and market doesn't seem that's enough. So market is panicking. I think that's probably the only way to describe it.
Yeah, not only the market, but Emmanuel Macron doesn't think it's enough. Italy's Conte thinks the central bank is, at least here in Europe, making the matters worse with its decisions and with its attitude, I'd say. Laura, what do you think about Christine Lagarde's decision yesterday at the ECB?
Well, I think markets are certainly reacting negatively to the ECB, but at the same time, they're limited in their capacity to actually have that shock and awe moment. So what they did do was really targeted measures. So we saw, dual interest rates come through. So that's meant to propel borrowing through banks, and so that was quite a positive sign. But markets didn't see kind of that interest rate cut that they were expecting, and so I think this really does pin going forward on the need for broader fiscal stimulus, not just the piecemeal approaches that we are seeing. And so we do expect to see probably more of that coming from the Fed, because it's really clear that we're going to need to see monetary policy come from them.
Marija, why didn't Lagarde cut rates yesterday?
I mean, cutting rates at ECB by another 10 basis points, I'm not entirely sure that would. I mean, yes, it's a nice kind of symbolic gesture.
We had people expecting 20 points.
Yeah, 10, 20 points. I mean, the rates are negative. We know banks are suffering. So I think, to be honest, what we thought would be a lot more useful for them would be to remove capital key. And that would be almost like an invitation for Italian government to start spending more aggressively, and then have ECB kind of helping out with BTP spreads. We thought that would be actually very, very useful thing to do. They haven't done it. So to us, that probably was more of a disappointment than not cutting rates. One thing I would like to say is actually, I mean, what Christine Lagarde has done, what ECB have done, actually is not nothing. It's probably not as much as market expected, but in terms of supporting European economy and supporting SMEs, what they've done via kind of TLTRO and those like banking measures, that's actually quite useful. It probably will take some time and probably longer than market is prepared to give credit for, but it will be useful, it will work, it just takes longer.